We've all heard about climate change, but what about air quality? At the risk of stating the obvious, breathing is necessary for human survival. Over the summer, we had weeks on end of either poor to unhealthy air quality, as measured by AccuWeather. Every day I hit the refresh button to see if I could literally open the window, as opposed to cranking the air purifier. New York has been blanketed in an eerie yellow haze. Ironically, even as Manhattan implements congestion pricing, the situation in Brooklyn is dire, as we're overwhelmed by SUVs. Yet the public response has been muted. This has got to be the most underrated issue facing us currently. Going into my trusty AccuWeather app, I learned much about the different components of poor air quality, from nitrogen dioxide to ozone to particulate matter to fine particulate matter. All of these are linked to cars to one degree or another. So, if that's the case, then why is Brooklyn a haven of motorist impunity descending into a Mad Max dystopia, as opposed to at least attempting to deal with the problem? It's not as if the ill health effects of cars are unknown to us as far as they relate to poor air quality. Breathing in nitrogen dioxide can aggravate respiratory diseases and cause asthma, and the elderly and young children are particularly at risk. Continued exposure may result in increased mortality risk linked to cardiovascular or respiratory disease. If that wasn't bad enough, ongoing exposure can lead to cancer, including lung cancer or stroke. Even in the short term, exposure can lead to cardiac problems and ER visits. Exposure is also linked to diabetes, obesity, and neurological disorders, including dementia, Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's. Exposure can also lead from everything to developmental damage in young children, to premature death, to susceptibility to infections. Can we control wildfire smoke coming from Canada or all sources of air pollution? Realistically, perhaps not. But there are some things which should be within our local control. Brooklyn cannot handle this level of cars, yet the borough has come to resemble the LA freeway. At the very least, shouldn't local politicians suggest that it might be a good idea to limit car use during air quality alerts? Is this being pedantic or just expecting the bare minimum? Moreover, in the battle for hearts and minds, would it make sense strategically to start talking a lot more about air quality as opposed to climate change, since many may regard the latter as a bit abstract? I want to know what you think. Is poor air quality a factor in your community? Let me know in the comments.